Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Thursday morning to you all. Hope you guys are feeling great out there, having a great start to your day. Great work week out there so far as we're nearing the end of it, almost there. It's been pretty icy this week, as we know, for you folks been tuning in. A lot of people have been plagued by a nasty ice storm. Yesterday was certainly the worst day. Today, there's still lingering freezing rain out there in portions of Texas, Arkansas, even western Tennessee, maybe even northwestern Mississippi. So we'll kind of wrap that up, and I really think a lot of areas, if not everybody, will warm above 32 degrees today, and we'll begin to thaw out. So that's the good news with that. Another story this morning is the snow falling in parts of southern Virginia. So that's really cool. Old man winter's deciding to throw some people a bone out there, even though it's not a lot. Certain people are definitely seeing some snow out there this morning for southern areas of Virginia, maybe even central Virginia. So hope you guys are enjoying that for some winter weather fans. We talked about that last night, how that was a possibility. And certainly happening. Maybe you guys are getting a slushy coating on the ground. Certainly a little coating on some elevated surfaces like the roofs of your cars, things like that happening. A little bit of snow falling a few thousand feet up in the mountains of North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. So that's neat. Got tagged in a couple videos this morning. So old man winter deciding to show up a little bit this morning. But for most people, today is going to be, especially in the southeast, it's going to be a nasty cold rain, especially that gets developing a little bit later for the southeast, a little bit later today. It'll just be a heavy cold rain. But we're going to break it all down for you folks. I want to say thank y'all for the amazing support over the last few weeks. January was pretty successful. It does not compare to last January just because we had a lot of winter weather to talk about for the southeast, and I know the majority of my audience is there. But thank y'all for all the new growth, all the people who've decided to subscribe to my channel from different geographical regions in the country, and just supporting just a person in South Carolina talking about weather for other people. So I really appreciate you guys. So thank y'all for that. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Gerald down here, and I've already done this a couple times, but GM Weather, a lot of you folks have been watching his content that have moved from my channel to his or back and forth. Not saying you quit watching my channel and only watch his. That's not what I'm meaning, but regardless, I have it down here on my actual YouTube page as great follows. As you can tell, he's at 966 subscribers, guys. He's trying to get to 1,000. I wouldn't just promote his channel for no reason. One, I know him personally. He's a great, genuine dude. Two, you're probably going to see this guy on TV one day. He has a great delivery and just has a way of delivering and talking to the audience. It's awesome. And three, I mean, he pumps out daily content. He's not inconsistent. He has been extremely consistent since he's made his YouTube channel more of a priority since late last year. So definitely hit him up. Let's try to get him to 1,000 subscribers today. It definitely would mean the world to him. He's a great guy. You're going to see him on TV one day for sure. But all about promoting others. I feel like uplifting others and using whatever you have, what you can bring to the table in life to help others. I think that's a big part of life. I really think it is. So I wish more people would do it, and not just talking about weather, but just in life in general. Look out for one another. So, but anyways, if you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put those in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. I do have a cat in here this morning. She's chilling down near my feet. She's kind of roaming the room and messing with my peripheral vision a little bit. But regardless, we'll make it through this. So warnings, advisories. We still got the lingering ice storm warnings, winter storm warnings for all the same counties that we had it last night. These will begin to rapidly drop sometime later this afternoon, but you will probably still be left with some winter weather advisories, as even though a lot of these areas right in here will begin to warm above freezing today, you will probably drop back below freezing tonight, and some things will refreeze, but definitely not a hard freeze. You will warm up substantially tomorrow, and mass melting will really occur tomorrow, but you're still got freezing rain falling out there this morning, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But all these weird lighter colors up here, that is wind chill advisories and wind chill warnings. It's going to get bitterly cold for the Northeast, and I mean, it's already pretty cold up here for the northern plains and north central U.S. this morning, but bitterly cold for a very literally quick 24 to 36 hour period up here in the Northeast. So we'll keep rolling. Let's take a look at what's going on out there in Texas and surrounding regions right now. You still got rain freezing on surfaces, which is what we call freezing rain. You even got lightning bolts down here showing up and down here in College Station near Alston. This is mainly rain down here now in College Station. I'm not sure what the temperature is in Alston, but I can almost promise you you're starting to get very close to the 32-degree mark, if not above it. So the ice storm will wrap up tonight, but, I'm sorry, today, but, the damage has been done. I've seen some awful damage, especially down there. You're still froze up in Dallas. It's like a gigantic ice skating rink in the Dallas and surrounding regions and towns, but you're still reporting freezing rain. And the pink on here, you got a rain report here at around 6:44 Eastern time, which is 5:44 out here. So, it's starting to warm up, and you're going to warm up. By the time I think you get to mid to late morning here and around this region, you will be above freezing. I would bet, but you might still hang on to it. Little Rock, what's going on out here? You're still dealing with frozen precipitation, freezing rain being reported just north of Pine Bluff. It's around 30 to 32 degrees in Memphis. It's still freezing rain falling in these areas. And it's probably still falling a little bit in western Tennessee too, where you're dealing with a little bit of a wintry mix, but not causing massive issues. So we'll take a look at the HRRR model for the rest of the day, guys. As you can tell, the pink, you'll see it begin to shift more to that green, which tells us freezing rain goes to rain. It physically looks the same, but freezing rain is rain falling to the surface, and you're sitting at 32 degrees or below. So, you'll have this last little round that'll move through North Texas, southern Oklahoma. This might try to mix with a little bit of snow, a little bit of sleet for these areas. It could be convective in nature. This little last push of moisture getting into about early afternoon today. I would not be surprised if you see some lightning bolts with this. Here's some thunder. This little last push of moisture will kind of blast through. We'll see what happens with this. This might mix with some sleet in certain areas of North Texas. But as you can tell, you back it up here, lingering freezing rain will eventually switch to all rain, and then a soaker will develop in the rest of Mississippi, Louisiana, and North Alabama, and will begin to push through the rest of the deep south and southeast. You might be hanging on to a little bit of freezing rain still in those higher elevations of the mountains of eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. Just a little bit, just hanging on for dear life. But regardless, you will wrap up this ice and this icy lockdown you guys have been in over the last few to several days. And here's the high temperatures for the south central U.S. As you can tell, highs in the mid to upper 30s in Dallas, Alston, probably highs in the upper 30s. You start to warm up, still well below average for this time of the year. But the good news is, silver lining is, you start to get above freezing. Now, some of these higher elevations, the mountains of the mountains of Arkansas and eastern, sometimes the words just want to come out the way they want to come out, right? And the mountains of eastern Oklahoma will still cling to around 32 degrees or below. But look over here in Amarillo. You're warming up well into the 50s. Same thing with western Oklahoma. Look up here in Missouri. You start to thaw out rapidly today. I've been hearing, folks in the Ohio Valley and, Northwest Kentucky, the kids have been out of school all week, but you melt quickly today. You really start to thaw out for you folks. So, you're dealing with a little bit of snow this morning in Virginia. I'll switch it to the radar. Let's go to Richmond. See what's going on. No, not Richmond. Queensland, definitely not. But even though it shows green on the radar, it's snowing in Richmond. Getting a good thumping of snow too. Snowing back here in Roanoke. Certainly snowing in Lynchburg. And you're getting a nice little wintry mix this morning in Virginia. Old man winter just telling you guys, hey, I'm still here. I'm not doing much, but I'm still here. Looks like you're getting some sleet around Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Hampton area. Certainly seeing a little bit of a wintry mix of sleet, maybe a little bit of snow mixing in. So, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if some sleet's mixing in down here in Elizabeth City too. Just nobody reporting it. So, a little bit of a wintry morning for you folks in Virginia. Hopefully you guys get maybe a sneaky, inch or snow on the ground. Certainly tag me in some pictures on Twitter or Facebook. But this will go on and head on out really quick. By the time we're in mid-late morning, it's done. And then for you folks in North and South Carolina, even Virginia, really just the soggy day takes a hold. This is going to be a rainy, chilly day for the Carolinas, especially in South Carolina Atlanta, the real rain starts to move through about early to mid-afternoon and just stays through overnight. This could be quite heavy. And some of these folks on the far northern kind of shield of this rain could mix with some snow. It will mix with some snow in these higher elevations of the southwest mountains of North Carolina here. But heavy rain overnight, and then by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, it begins to clear off the southeast coastline. And then we're left with a pretty chilly day Friday, but even colder for Saturday. So, yeah, rainfall between now and the next, I would say 36 hours. Like I said, from northern Louisiana, I mean, you're basically going to switch from an ice storm in these areas to just all rain. But from northern Louisiana to, central South Carolina to the southeast sections of North Carolina, anywhere from 3/4 of an inch of rain to 1.5 inches of rain. So you're certainly going to just get a big old goalie washer over the next 36 hours for you folks. That's for sure. Northeast today will be kind of weird. Not weird, but just what's going to happen is most of the day will be quiet. But to your northwest, this Arctic boundary begins to kind of move out of southeast Canada and blast through the northeast overnight tonight. With it, you're going to have some snow squalls, some squally weather. And with cold air coming in, this could get not really dangerous because you guys can handle it up here. But, from Buffalo to Watertown, Syracuse, northern sections of New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, there could be a pretty intense area of snow that blasts through all those areas sometime later this evening into the overnight hours. This could drop a couple to maybe as much as several inches of snow. It'll be blowing around, be very cold, could be very brief, blizzard-like conditions. Brief. I use the word brief hard there. So this can move through, and the National Weather Service is saying, hey, from this band of snow, Buffalo, maybe you get a few inches of snow up here near Watertown and north of Watertown to Syracuse, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of snow. In western New York State, accumulating snow. Binghamton, maybe a little bit of snow from this. So, don't be surprised if you wake up, if you go to sleep tonight in these areas and it just feels like a normal winter evening, and then you wake up and snow's on the ground and it's bitterly cold Friday morning as the Arctic boundary blasts through very quickly. North Central U.S., pretty quiet. You're dealing with a little snow in the UP of Michigan this morning. This will drift into northern Michigan. There goes my cat jumping on my lap. And you'll probably have, due to the push of this Arctic air, it's not diving really south. It's really diving from the northwest to the southeast and almost more just straight from the west. And with that, Lake Superior isn't froze over, so you're going to be dealing with some lake effect snow in the eastern sections of the UP of Michigan. This might, drift a little bit into the central areas of the UP of Michigan. So don't be surprised by that. And I'm sure you never are, but certainly some streamers popping off. And then they will briefly pop off all the lakes a little bit overnight tonight, as you just have some cold Arctic air that kind of moves over these Great Lakes, which are definitely not froze over by any means. So temperatures today, really cold air begins to ooze into the northern sections of the lower 48. I'm talking, the Dakotas, especially Minnesota. This really starts to blast through the Great Lakes region. A little bit later this evening, typical winter-type temperatures for February 2nd in the Northeast. Nothing unusual. Chilly day in the south central U.S., the Southeast. There will be a big-time temperature boundary in far, far southern sections of Mississippi. I would say Montgomery, you could potentially get into the 60s today, but Birmingham, you're maybe locked into the 40s. It's just kind of one of those weird temperature gradients. Atlanta, you could be locked into the 40s today, but if you head on down to Macon, it might be in the 60s. Florida, another summer-like day for you guys. Cold in the Carolinas unless you go all the way down to like Hilton Head or Edisto, or Charleston even. You might get all the way into 70s. You might. Cold everywhere else, typical, February winter chills. So it might be one of the shortest videos I've done in some time. Of course, tonight we'll continue to try to figure out, what's going to happen the rest of February. I can tell you there's nothing really to lock on to. I think it's going to be a slow start to February, which is good. But I'm already kind of eyeballing a storm system about a week out from today. And it looks small but potent. So we need to talk about that. But of course, there's no point in getting super detailed with it because it's going to change a lot. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless all y'all, and have yourselves a great Thursday.